Hi. Hi, good afternoon. Auntie Genevieve.
Good afternoon, Sharon. How are you?
Please, I'm fine. How are you too?
I'm doing good. So I wanted to see if my lightning and everything was fine.
Okay.
To position myself well. So I think this place is better. So Sharon, it looks like I'm trying to connect with my laptop, but I'm having a challenge. I'm sure I have to update something. I'm on holiday, so I haven't used my laptop in a while. So I'm going to use my phone. So I don't know if I should share my slides with you. Are you the one going to monitor the slides?
No, please. I can't do that. I'm also using my phone. At the moment, I'm even in the office. So.
Oh, okay. So who will be doing that? Who would actually, who normally moderates? Okay, let's
today, the person is not available, so I had to step in.
Okay, hold on. Let me just try something on my phone and see. So then hold on. Don't allow people in for now. Just hold on. Let me just see.
Okay.
Okay, so allow me to share and let me see if I can use the phone.
Okay.
I'm trying to reach out to my office assistant to see if he can join and then move the slides from his end for me in case we are not able to do this. Okay. So I'll be on mute for a while.
Okay.
My dear, have you given me access? Let me try and see. It's still share. Hello, Sandra. Hello. Hello, Sandra. Hello. Hello. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Auntie Genevieve.
It still says only you can share.
Yes, please. Hello, Auntie. Auntie Sandra.
Yeah, you need to give me access.
Okay, please hold on. Let me try.
I want to try before.
Change. Say it's 5,986. Hello, Auntie Genevieve. Please, can you try and share? Let's see.
Can you hear me, please? Hello.
Please, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm saying that usually, is there someone from your end who does the back end? Because I'm thinking that person should be able to do that.
Oh, okay. There's no one today, so
I'm unable to share from my phone.
Oh, okay. I've made you the co-host, so I wanted you to try to share.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but
It's still not working.
let me still try and see.
Okay. If it doesn't work, maybe you go on with the presentation and you can send us the slides later if you don't mind sharing your slides with us.
No, I don't mind. It's not a problem. but I would love to. I normally like it engaging. So if,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, at least people are not in, so I'll still be trying to see if it works.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, it means I would have to share it like pictures. I think in
Oh.
that case, it can work.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm on standby when you guys are ready.
Okay, please. Okay. I'm sending reminders, so please give us some few minutes.
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Sharon. Are we still on, or we should wait for a quorum?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sharon, and this afternoon I'll be moderating our forum. So this afternoon we have in our midst Madam Genevieve, who will be taking us through the topic, the art of customer service excellence, equipping yourselves to deliver on excellence. Please, can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So we'd like to share a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for how far you brought us. We thank you for such an opportunity as to listen to the art of customer service to help us in our daily work and routines. Help us, oh Lord, as we listen, that we'll be able to put into practice, that we'll be excellent professionals in our work. This and many others we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So a little profile about our speaker. So Dr. Genevieve Duncan Obobi is an astute retail banker and a customer experience consultant with industry experience spanning over 15 years. Her service experience has been tried and tested over a decade of working in the service industry and is a well-experienced customer-centric individual. She's an accomplished retail banker who managed flagship branches and managed 4 solid teams of Fidelity Bank Limited over a decade and more. Dr. Genevieve is an industry expert for customer relationship management and SME consulting, and a well-sought-after leadership strategist and a certified corporate trainer and knowledge broker. She combines her extensive expertise in the aforementioned fields to positively impact the lives of women and young entrepreneurs. She's passionate about the financial empowerment of women and strong proponent of a shift in the mindset of the youth towards embracing entrepreneurship and leadership opportunities. She's a certified management professional by Harvard, USA, Cranfield, UK, and SEPS, China. Dr. Genevieve Duncan Obobi holds a doctorate in business administration from Swiss Business School, Zurich, and an EMBA from the University of Ghana Business School, Legon. She loves to write and share knowledge through public speaking, books, and articles. She's the author of The Jigsaw Effect of Leaders and Diary of a Branch Manager. Dr. Genevieve has received several awards and recognitions to her credit, conferred on her both locally and internationally, for her commitment in women's empowerment and support for young entrepreneurs and small business owners in banking, finance, and sharing knowledge that impacts women and the young people in Africa. She is the CEO of Genevieve Pearl Consult and currently the lead consult at Tarragon Edge Limited Ghana, where she focuses on strategic partnerships and SDGs 5, 8, and 17. Let's give a round of applause to our speaker and welcome her. Woo. Can we all
thank you.
unmute and welcome her?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome,
Sharon,
Dr.
thank you
Genevieve.
for all the nice things you've said about me. I'm privileged and humbled to be in your midst. Thank you.
You're welcome, Johnny.
It's unfortunate that we are unable to, but I'm trying to use other means, Sharon. So as the conversation goes along, because I normally would want them to see the slides so that we can relate easily. But anyway, so many things said about me. I also want to know a little bit about the group I'm speaking to. So maybe Sharon, if you're in the position to tell me a bit. Sandra told me a bit, but I want to hear more, and then we can set the ball rolling. Thank you.
Okay, so this is City Harvest School of Ministry. We train young people, and not just Christians or anyone can join in. It's an online Bible school that trains people to preach the gospel wherever we find ourselves. So anyone, it's open to anyone. It's a non-denominational online school, so anyone can join anytime. So you are welcome, Doctor, if you want to join us. We have online classes.
I'm happy to hear that. So it's not a church that is doing it, or it's a church, but this is like
it's not a church doing it.
It's a network of friends who have come together.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Oh, okay. That's
it's an initiative of our Pastor Elias in Turin Cancer.
Okay, that's good. Well done. Okay. So today, like you said, we'll be discussing customer. So since you can't see the slides, at least you can see my face. We'll be discussing my experience, and I'll be asking quite a lot of questions because for me, it's not something that we don't know. We all know what I'm coming to talk about. It's just a way to reiterate and also have a few action plans or points that's in our day-to-day activities, whether at work, at home, or in society, like we find ourselves this afternoon, we can actually implement some of these things. So I'll just start by asking, why do you think we are saying it's an art, not just customer service, but we've added ART, which is an art? So anybody at all can just share your viewpoint with us. Why do we say service is an art?
Because it's occurring from it keeps on going on. It's something that goes on.
I can hardly hear.
I said it's a recurring thing that keeps on going on.
Hello, Bibi. I can hardly hear you.
Yes. I said it's a recurring thing. It keeps on going on.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bibi. I'm happy that I have Bibi on because honestly, when I was putting my slides together, I was looking for 2 examples. And Bibi, to be honest with you, it was you and myself that came to mind. And so it would be good to share our experiences on the same platform. So I'm very happy you are here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for saying what you just said. So it's an art. We all know how, let me put the scenario of an artist in place here. We all know how artists use expressions to tell us stories or to tell us things, right? To take us through a journey. So I may not understand art so well. I may not appreciate art so well. But when I see a picture of somebody with the head bowed down, so many thoughts will come to mind. I will put different meanings to it. The artist would also put different meanings to it. But over the I'll say over a few years, what I have learned in art is that the colors they use, the strokes they put across in every painting they do has meanings. So when an artist use a dark expression, all the colors are dark, it means that during the mood that the artist is trying to express to us, it's probably a sad mood, probably a downtime, probably something that is not so pleasant. And when they use very beautiful colors, like gay colors, it also means they're expressing something different. So when we say customer service is an art, I just want us to remember that just like the artist, it's a series of things put together to give us the expression or to give us the experience that we find ourselves in. So this is how I want us to see customer experience or customer service today. That is how I want us to picture service today. And so I will go ahead and ask that, what at all is service? What is service? And it can be anyone, anybody at all can express their views with us. What is service? Sharon, probably let me worry you. Sharon, what is service? What comes to mind when you hear service or customer service? Sharon, Genevieve is more like a teacher, so you don't expect that I'll just be pouring it out. I want us to engage.
Sorry, Auntie Genevieve, sorry.
I said,
work done to benefit someone.
I didn't hear that.
Work done to benefit someone.
All right, thank you. Any other person who would want to contribute? Please, any other person to share what she knows about service with us? When we say service, what at all is service? What at all is customer service?
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Adjoa. I'll say like helping or doing work for someone, like assisting somebody with something. That's
Okay.
what comes to mind.
Okay. All right, assisting somebody with something. Good. All right, Adjoa. So assisting somebody with something. So let's take a typical scenario. Somebody walks into your office and you are nice to the person. Niceness can be seen in different ways. So probably you've assisted the person with an inquiry or something. You've done an act of customer service. It means that you've helped somebody. But today, what I want us to focus on more is the experience. So the experience is like a journey. And I always say that the journey starts wherever you find yourself. The journey starts right from probably the car park. So my background is more of banking. So normally I'll use the banking scenario. So once somebody is coming to the banking hall, because I did a lot of branch work, so I'm more in the banking hall, you normally have to go through probably a car park if you are driving. Even if you are not driving, somebody will drop you at the car park. So right from the car park, the experience that you encounter, let's say you park your car very well, and then the security guard was not looking. So probably you've walked a bit ahead, and then you are called that, come and repark or come and position your car well. That can anger someone. Somebody might overlook it. Somebody might get angry, depending on who it is and what time of the day it is. Probably you're trying to rush out of the office, go and do your banking and come back. So before you enter the banking hall itself, where you're coming to experience somebody like me, probably you're already upset. So what happens is that right from the security point, service starts. That is how I want us to look at service. And it's an art because, you see, it's a series of things. So it moves from one experience to the other. And then when we put all the experiences together, at the end of the day, we would say whether we are okay or not. And that is how I want us to see it today. So right from the entrance, you walk to maybe an inquiry desk, or like we say, a customer service personnel. The person might not know your mood, might not be able to read your mood, because probably the person is just doing work as usual. But a great customer experience person, right from you sitting before me, I can tell if you are in a good mood or not. And that would help me to approach you even better. So that is how I want us to see service today. It's an art, A-R-T. So everything we do should match or should complement the other. And then that is how we build. It's like a building block. So that's how we're going to build our experiences today. And with that, I would say that there are so many things that happen when you encounter someone. And if the experience is good, you go away with it. If it's bad, you go away with it. And most times we say that it's difficult to actually express good things, but it's very easy to express bad things. So when I'm not happy with you, expressing it to like 10 more people is so easy. So word of mouth, quickly it goes. And then everybody gets to know that, oh, Genevieve did this, or this company did that, and it wasn't good. Then now with social media, it's even worse. So you get to circulate bad information quickly, more than we circulate good ones. So in the art of service, we don't want bad information to be circulated, because there are benefits and also there are disadvantages. So for instance, if I am a company and I have encountered you and I didn't give you a good experience, definitely what you're going to spread out there is going to be bad. So what is going to happen is that by the time I have the chance to explain myself, the bad word is already out. And that is what we want to prevent. And I always say that service should not be looked at only at workplaces, at home. The service we render to our kids, the service we render to our spouses, the service we render in our communities, the service we render in societies like we find ourselves, should all be seen as an art. So you attach some priority, you attach some urgency. If I need to do this, for instance, we're supposed to meet at 2:00. So latest by 2:05, we are all here, because I'm sure it's just about our discussion, so that we can engage, we can get to respect time, we can get to respect that it's a weekend. People would love to spend time with their family members. So that is service. So let's have it at the back of our minds that service is not just what we do in the offices. No, service entails so many things. And that is how I want us to approach service today and going forward. Another thing I would like to talk about is that when it comes to customers, we are different people, just like human beings. I mean, we are all humans, we are different. The way Genevieve will see something and get upset with, probably Ajwa would not see it like that. The way Bibi would handle an instance, I may not handle it like that. So we are different people. So when we are approaching service, we approach service in a different way. We don't approach service like one size fits all. A customer who we normally say they are angry customers, but I normally will not say that. I will say they are irate customers, because you see, I always say that everybody has a way to be handled. I may not be happy with Ajwa because of the way she's handling a particular issue. It doesn't necessarily mean I have a problem with you. Customers get upset not because of you. They get upset because of the situation. They are frustrated. They need something done. It's not being done. So that is frustrating enough. And that makes me put up a behavior. That does not necessarily mean that I have a problem against Ajwa or Bibi. And so once I am a service person, once I'm the person providing the service, when I get the understanding that it is not about me, Genevieve, it is just about the situation, it helps you to understand, and then you can relate to customers even better. And another point is that because we are not the same, when you want to give me an experience, you have to find out what makes me tick, what makes me happy. And that is why we've moved. I mean, when I say we've moved, companies and anyone who deals with customers, we've moved from transactional relationship to relationship building, because transactional is just one of, like, you just come, I serve you, and then that's it. I sell to you, that's it. There is nothing like after sales service. There is nothing like when I need you, I can easily reach you, maybe on WhatsApp. There are no alternatives. It is business as usual. So if it's 8 to 5 and I close, no. Sharing my few experiences, and I'm happy I have my colleague here, like BB is here. I would always be proud to say that today I'm not at Fidelity Bank, but I still get customers call me and I get their problem solved for them, because it is now a relationship. It is something that has been built over time and over the years. They've gained trust. They know that, oh, as for Genevieve, when I call her, whatever my problem is, it will be solved. And that is how I want us to see the art of service excellence. Excellence means that you are standing out. It's not the usual. It's not the normal thing that we always see. It is the outstanding nature of what you do. And so as leaders, as women, as men, as community, as society, when we have this at the back of our mind, that service should be outstanding, the wow factor, W-O-W, the wow factor. If I see something, I say, wow, literally, it means it is out of this world. It means it is beautiful. It is awesome. It is amazing. You can give it all the adjectives that you want. And that is how our service should be. So let me experience Ajua. Let me experience Bibi. Let me experience Sharon. Let me experience Elias. And then I would say, wow, it means I have gotten an experience that will live with me for some time, if not for the rest of my life. And I always love to give the scenario. I one time entered an office and I wasn't looking, I wasn't looking okay, like I wasn't all dressed and all that, very casual, because the instance that took me to that office was not something that I should bother about my dressing. I entered this office and the first person I met was a service, like the customer service person. And honestly speaking, it was also a bank. So I entered and I told the lady that I have my child in the car. So I am really in a haste. I need to get this thing done. I needed money for my account. And I didn't even remember my account number because it's not an account I normally use, but it was an emergency. So I needed to get the money. And I'm like, oh, I can't go all the way to my own bank, like us in Fidelity. So I couldn't go to Fidelity. I just needed money. And this is not even years back. This is just recently. And so the lady was like, okay, you could tell that there was a sense of urgency. She quickly moved and spoke to the teller. And then the teller went on the system, checked, and then she looked at me. So probably maybe get to know whether it's me or not. So she asked a question, I answered. And then she said, okay, please, just a minute. I said, okay. So I was waiting. And then the teller spoke to the supervisor. In my view, that's how, because somebody who was higher. So I was wondering what it was. So I said, is there a problem with the account? Because obviously I hadn't used it for a while. So I didn't know what it was. They said, no, there is no problem, but my supervisor will get back to you soon. So I was actually facing the supervisor because I could see her and she was on phone. And her attitude was just so bad, so bad. When I say so bad, it's like, and funny, to hell with you. I mean, you're in a hurry, and so what? Meanwhile, I know every information I gave to the service person has been given to her. So I was waiting patiently. And then after a while, I said, is there a problem with my account? And then the guy said, the lady said no. And then a guy by the lady prompted her that speak to the supervisor. So quickly, I just went there. I mean, there were two people that I excused them. And then I said, supervisor, I beg you, my child is in the car. The car is on. Can I please know if there's a problem with my account, blah, blah, blah. Long forward, her attitude was, your account will not permit you to take the amount you want to take. And I said, okay, how much would the account, how much can I take? You can just give me that amount. Do you have your checkbook? I said, no, I don't. Can I get a counter check? He said, no, this one is a company account. So the only thing we can do is for you to close the account before you can get. I said, excuse me, what did you say? I should close the account. Oh, okay. Then I just shook my head and I said, do you know what it takes to have one account? So out of anger, I just raised my head and I saw in some banks, you see the numbers to call when you are not happy with service. So quickly, I moved out. I thanked the lady who assisted me. I thanked the gentleman, and then I moved out. When I got into the car, out of anger, I just picked my phone and I start typing. So I typed an email straight to their, service helpline. And truth be told, I think it was a Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I was on my way to London. And when I got there, the first email I received was from the bank, apologizing and all that. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. But I wanted to speak to somebody, and I actually did. So when I got back to Ghana, first, and I went back to the bank, I wanted to find out what has been done to the girl because I reported. I wasn't happy what I saw because she was sacked. I wasn't happy with that. But the lesson here is that this is somebody, it wasn't just because of my instance. This is somebody who is found of doing this. So this is like a usual thing for her. She doesn't respect, she doesn't care about what the customer feels. She doesn't care about urgency, priority, whatever. And so I think this just went to add, probably mine went to push her out. But what I'm trying to share here is that you don't need to know who you are dealing with when it comes to customer service. You don't need to know that it is this person or it is that person. Service should be rendered as such to whoever comes our way, because the whole idea is that I have to find out the experience you're giving me. It should not really merit my dressing. It should not be because I have so much money. And I'm not using just the banking scenario. It happens day in and day out, even in our churches. We see people who are not in our class, let me put it like that. They don't dress so well. They don't use big cars. So when we even have to speak to them or offer some sort of service to them, we think twice. We do it anyhow, shabbily. That is not service excellence. That is normal service. Probably we are doing it because we have to do it. And that is why I started by asking, what is service? Once you all understand service, it is usual, the business as usual. But now we are talking about an art. We are talking about service excellence. So you realize that there is more effort that needs to be put in. That is how I want us to see it. And I will pause here to ask maybe if somebody has one or two questions, and then I can proceed. I'm still trying to get the back end to see if we can see the slide. So I would want maybe one or two people to share with us if they have any comments so far, any questions. Should I ask questions myself? Okay, so since no one is talking, I would still go ahead. I think the back end is still not able to. So just a quick food for thought that I want you to have at the back of your mind by Maya Angelou. She says that whatever you do, if you want to be great at it, you have to love it and be able to make sacrifices for it. And I think this one, we all agree. You cannot just do things anyhow. You cannot just do things because you're doing it. There should be some sort of passion. When there is passion, we excel. When there is passion, we do it as if we are doing it for ourselves. When there is passion, we empathize. And service is all about empathy, putting yourself in the shoes of the person you are rendering the service to. And that is when you say you've actually served someone passionately with empathy. So why would somebody always come to me when there is a problem? Because the person thinks I can solve the problem for him or her. Why would the person not come to you, Ajwa, and the person would go to Bibi? These are some of the questions that we need to ask. Why would somebody want to experience Bibi and not Genevieve? Even when Bibi is not there, I would wait when she comes. We go to hospitals, we go to companies, we go to places to buy things. We go to supermarkets. We go to places to do our hair as women. We go to shops. Sometimes you get so used to one particular person. Why is it so? It is what we call experience. It is how that person makes you feel. It is how that person makes you feel that, oh, somebody thinks about me. Somebody cares for me. Somebody knows that this is priority and I need to take care of it. And when it comes to service, I always say that, look, I am not you. So don't assume, don't have prejudiced statements in your mind. This is Genevieve. So when you are dealing with me, don't deal with me as if I am Ajwa, as if I am Elias, as if I'm Sharon, because probably Sharon would have been okay. But why is Genevieve being too difficult? Because Genevieve and Sharon are not the same. And once we get this at the back of our minds, it would help us go a long way in building relationship with people. So even when you're handling your partners or you're handling your children, you know that Kofi and Amma are not the same. Kofi would want to sit and read all through 3-4 hours. The typical child would want to play. But you see that one child would always have his or her head in the book. The other child always want to be on YouTube. How do you take it that they are different people, but you leverage on their strength? So you don't make this one feel worse off and this one feel better, but they learn from each other and know that this is best practice. In talking about best practice, I would say that the fact that I love service doesn't mean that you are a front-seeing person. Naturally, some people don't want to, have anything to do with people. They don't like interpersonal communication. They always want to be at the back end. They don't want to be seen. But the world we find ourselves today, unfortunately, you cannot hide. You have to be seen. And even if you are trying to hide, definitely there is one or two that you would deal at the back end that will affect the front end. So service is of essence. Once you understand that your input, my input, collaboration, when we put it together, makes it worthwhile, then it means that you know the role to play, I know the role to play. So whether you are a front seeing staff or you are the back, you know that you need to play your role so that together, when we put these two things together, we can actually give the outputs that we need to give. I'm seeing someone with a name, the graced woman. Graced means that you've been favored. I always say that you don't need favor to learn best practice. Best practice, you've seen Ajwa doing it. You've seen that, okay, it is giving us good results. God will not come from heaven and put that idea in your mind. All you need to do is to be like someone watching Ajwa. So Ajwa becomes like your mentor or somebody that you are looking at, a role model. Oh, okay. Once Ajwa is doing this way and it is giving us results, everybody is happy with it. Why can't Genevieve learn? Instead of making it look like it's a competition, no. In service, if you want to stand out, you don't see competition. You see collaboration. So the C for competition becomes collaboration. At the back of your mind, you see everything as when I add my bits, it makes it better. And that is how I want us to see service or the art of service excellence as leaders. Another thing I'll talk about is that when it happens that we encounter difficult customers, as we term it, irate customers, don't put it at the back of your mind that this person is too known. This person is some way. This person thinks he knows too much. And then you would also show an attitude. A service person or a service provider does not show an attitude. You don't even have the right to show an attitude. Naturally, I know sometimes customers can be so annoying. I have to be very honest. Sometimes can be very annoying. We are all customers to each other. And when it comes to internal customers, that is our own colleagues and all that, sometimes we can really tell that they are so annoying, but we need to get the work done. So what do? We just have to ignore and get the work done. The same way, our external customers, they pay us, like we say. So sometimes they are always on the edge and doing all the too known and things. But what do you do as a service champion? What do you do as a service provider? You don't also get edgy. No, You remember that it is your task to make sure that I, the customer, I am happy. That is the focus. So once you have it at the back of your mind that I have to make sure my customer is happy, you don't also become proud. You don't let your ego lead you. Although I agree and admit that customers can be sometimes very irrational. Let me use that word. But we don't say that because they are behaving in this manner, I have to also show that I did. No, in service, we don't do that. And secondly, you remember that it has nothing to do with you as a person. It is just the instance. It is just the issue. It is just the challenge that the person is encountering. And that is why the person is giving you that kind of attitude. This customer needs to go and come back because we need customers to continuously purchase our products and services. So we cannot just say, I'm done with you, go to hell. No, we need to be able to solve their problems. So first of all, you ensure that whatever the challenge is, even if it's beyond you, you've escalated for it to be resolved. And you own it, OWN, you own the query, you own the complaint, you own it to the extent that you give feedback. You just don't say that, okay, it's not my task, it's not my role, it's not my department, so I transfer it and it ends it. No. Once you take up the challenge to solve the problem, own it and get it to the end. Another thing you have to remember is that you're building a long-lasting relationship. It might not just be for the firm you find yourself. It might be for you. And I always use the scenario of experiences that I have gained over the years working as a relationship person and a branch manager. I have encountered so many people that today they are my friends. Some of them have even offered jobs to my siblings. Some have offered jobs to my friends. Some have given me contracts. This is relationship. So don't think you're doing it for me. Don't think you're doing it for someone. You're doing it for yourself. I think I'll use BB at this point. Recently, I saw another award that you got from the office. And I was very proud because personally, I know you. And I always say that, you see, when you hear somebody like Genevieve has taken an award in some areas, you won't be surprised because it's like, that is my way of life. When you hear that somebody is consistently doing something he or she is passionate in, you don't get surprised because this is the person's way of life. But the question is, what are you learning from that way of life? So you see BB always being praised in terms of service. If she's your friend, or even if you know her by social media standards, if you know her, what are you learning from that person? I can boldly say that if somebody calls me and say, I had an experience with BB at Fidelity and she was so rude, I can vouch and say, I'm not sure it's BB. Probably it's somebody else because I know her. That is to the extent to which we want people to vouch for us when it comes to service. So when I talk about service, I'm very passionate because in our parts of the world, unfortunately, we say people think they are doing you a favor. But when you are rendering service, you're not doing me a favor. You're doing yourself a favor to render me the best of the best so that I would have repeated business coming to you again. And then you would have easy marketing, word of mouth. I go talking about you everywhere I find myself. I express the experience I have gained. And then it goes on and on and on. Remember that when I am happy, I will bring 3 more people. Those 3 more people will bring 3 more people when they are also happy, and it goes on and on. The same way, when I am unhappy with you, then it will not be 3. I would go and tell 10 people. The 10 people will tell 20 people, and then it goes on and on and on. So we say service is not a department. I always say that. It's a collaboration. It's like the jigsaw, putting everything together to get that perfect fit. So that at the end of the day, I know that I have played my role, you have played your role, she has played her role, and together we've gotten the kind of effects that we want to get. And we should always remember that service is an ongoing process. It doesn't end. So don't think that you've provided service today and tomorrow it's something else. And I love something I learned from my bank. I will never forget. So we used to have, we say SMILE, the acronym SMILE. SMILE is a very easy thing. You just feel your skin small, like you smile, you make your face a bit broad, your eyes. Even when I'm on phone and I'm smiling, you should feel that I am smiling. And what does the SMILE stand for? The S is actually smile, as in smile. The M is make eye contact. So most times when we are serving people, we need to make eye contact. I need to let you feel, even if I'm in my glasses, you need to be able to see my eyes. You need to experience me. When I'm not happy, you would read from my eyes. When I'm happy, you will read from my eyes. The I is introduce yourself. So, hello, good morning, Ajwa. My name is Genevieve. How may I help you today? The L is listen. Most times we don't listen. And in service, if you don't listen, you make repeated mistakes, because I have come probably for something. I have brought a complaint, or probably I'm coming to ask for something, to inquire about something. If you don't listen, you might not get the real message that I wanted to communicate to you. And so listen, and listen good. And then the E is express thanks. So after you are done with everything, thank you for coming today, or thank you for visiting our office today. Hope to see you again. Or thank you for calling today. Hope to see you again. Smile. So if you don't remember anything at all, just remember that the acronym SMILE, which is smile, is actually you smiling, you making eye contact in service, you introducing yourself when talking to people, especially when you see them or when you're on phone, you listening and listening well, and you expressing thanks, making me feel that you've enjoyed my company or you've enjoyed my experience. Basically, that is what SMILE means. I don't know if I have any questions, then I can wrap up. Any questions for me? Any questions before I wrap up? Or I should wrap up and then the questions will follow.
Yes, please wrap up so that the questions will follow.
Okay. All right. So before I wrap up, I would say that I'm sure we all work in a capacity as an entry level, a middle manager, or a high level manager. And definitely most times we deal with people, and these people might not necessarily be familiar with a lot of things that we are familiar with. How well are we building capacity in our team members? How well are we making sure that people actually get to know what they are supposed to do? Because it's different from knowing and not doing, and then knowing and doing. So how well are we making sure that our team members have what it takes to actually give the service that we expect they give? And also, how well are we ensuring that consistently we are giving them the kind of experience that we should give them as leaders? Because you are not just a leader because you just have to be there. You're supposed to provide some level of training. You're also in your own small way supposed to do some level of teaching, some coaching, some mentoring, so that the other people looking at you or following you would also learn and give you the kind of results that you want. So if we are not doing that, then I would plead that we go back, and then whatever we have also learned, we also share these experiences with our people and get them to do as they should. So to wrap up, I want us to remember 7 things. I'm just trying to see if I can share it as a picture on my, please, do I have access to share?
Yes, please. You are the host.
All right, I'm trying to see if it will give me, it's still not giving me, but I just wanted us to learn 7 C's in service excellence. The first one has to do with competence. So I would say you need to be competent as the word says, competence. So you need to have the right skill. You need to have what it takes to actually be a service person. If you don't have, you learn. The second one is concern. We see service as an urgent need. So it is not somebody who just comes to me because the person wants to come to me. The person comes to me because there is a need. So I should also prioritize and make it a concern, a genuine concern. There should be some level of consistency. As much as we can't get it 100%, we should ensure that we get it to the highest possible rate that we can. There should be creativity. Service is not just a one-way thing. We should be very innovative about it. So probably today, I have a way of approaching my customers when it's, let's say, their birthdays. It should not always be cake. Maybe another time it can just be a spa treat. Another time it can just be like a voucher for a lunch. And when I say service, I always want us to start from the whole. So we start from our own people, our team members. If it's at work, our colleagues. If it's at home, our family members, so that we make it very practical. And then also we should remember that in service, we need to be able to apply courtesy. We need to be very courteous about service, because service is not something that we are just doing for doing sake. We need to apply courtesy. And when you apply courtesy, you realize that there is some level of confidence. The person knows that, okay, when it comes to Genevieve, when it comes to Bibi, when it comes to Adjoa, when it comes to Sharon, I know that I can trust this person with my needs or with the things that I want handled. Then composure. Composure is just about your demeanor. Make sure your demeanor is always right. You cannot just be anyhow when you're serving people. So your appearance should be on point. The way you speak should be on point. The way you even express your smile. Don't be too familiar, no matter who you are dealing with. Familiarity, we all know they say breeds contempt. So when we are in the service department, or when we are offering service, we should remember that our composure matters a lot. And then the last one is commitment. Commitment, I'll roll passion in again, and I'll say that you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot do what you don't love. You just do it haphazardly. And that is not the art of service excellence. In the art of service excellence, you want to give of your best. You want to wow me. You want me to remember you. You want me to always mention your name. When I think of anyone I want to relate to, when it comes to maybe MTN, Benedicta will come into my mind. When it has to do with probably fidelity, I would mention Baby, or I would mention somebody that has given me an experience. When it comes to maybe Vodafone, I have somebody I would always remember. When it comes to me buying something from a particular supermarket, I go there because it's not like I can get the product from just that place, but that experience that I get anytime I find myself there. When I think of a hotel, probably in Ghana, maybe a particular hotel will come to mind because of the experience I have encountered or have earned. And that is how I want us to see service. So at this point, I'll say, I don't know if we've exhausted the time. I think we started about 20 minutes into 4 or into 3. I'm ahead of you one. So I don't know, but on this note, I would say that let's remember that service is an attitude that you actually build over a period of time. It's a skill, so you can learn it. If you don't have it, you learn it. Naturally, some of us are very good when it comes to interpersonal relationship. Some of us are not. But being a back-end person or a back office person does not necessarily mean you cannot learn. So you have the chance to learn from others. You have the chance to learn from internet. Now, information is so common out there. You don't have any excuse. And remember that you need to serve not just for serving's sake, but you need to serve with that finesse. You need to serve with an art. You need to serve with passion, so that wow factor that we look out for, that makes you outstanding, that makes you stand out, that makes you excel, I would experience, whoever encounters you would experience. It would help your business to grow. It would help you as an individual to grow because you're building continuous relationship. And at the end of the day, your name will be mentioned anytime that level of service comes to mind. On this note, I'll say thank you very much for the audience, and I'm ready for questions and answers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Auntie Genevieve, for this insightful session.
If you add auntie to it, it makes me feel too.
Okay, Genevieve. Thank you so much for the nuggets. I've got a lot of notes here. The best one I got is the acronym for SMILE. So SMILE, make eye contact, introduce yourself, listen and listen well, be expressant, express your thanks to whoever you deal with. Service is not a department, it is a collaboration. Service is always a never-ending process. So we keep on doing service wherever we find ourselves. Perfect. So the floor is open to anyone who has questions.
Not just questions, it can be contributions, it can be anything that you have on your mind in terms of service, it can be anything. The truth of the matter is that I didn't go according to my slides. I'll share it with you anyway, but I always approach the slides. I always say is just for reading purposes so that you can refer. But I don't believe so much in the T232 because, you know, the experiences we share, the real life situations we share, the practical examples we share go a long way to us. For me, I remember that better than reading. So it was even good, probably the internet or the technology failed us. So I would want you to, the few minutes we have left, I want you to engage. I mean, if you have questions, please show your face, express if you can show your face, express your thoughts. Let's learn, let's share knowledge, and then we can call it a day. Thank you.
Well, Auntie Genevieve.
Genevieve is just fine. No?
Hello, Genevieve. Good evening. Thank you so much for your time and taking time to educate us. So I'll say I have learned a lot, and I'd like to thank you for that. I have just one question. That okay, now that we've come to know this knowledge, right? If you are in an environment that say your superiors, you've noticed that they lack such training, they lack such attitude, even though you might think they are supposed to know this or they are supposed to be aware of this by now. How do you, as a subordinate, introduce this or bring about this conversation? How would you suggest that a subordinate will bring about this sort of conversation in an environment where among his or her, yes, among his or her superiors, please?
Okay, so first of all, I'll ask, is it an open environment? You see, there are some environments that are closed, meaning there is no opportunity for you to even share your idea. Is it something like that, or it's an innovative environment where you can share your thoughts?
I wouldn't call it so innovative. It's like everybody is in his or her lane.
Like, innovative. Yes. Let's say it's semi-innovative. Okay.
Yes.
It depends on the relationship you have with your boss. But what I would advise you do is that as you have learned, you can actually come up with a very simple, I can assist you come up with a very simple, like based on the peculiar issues, come up with a very simple presentation and tell your boss that you want to start this, you want to start this knowledge sharing. You know, it's just like you learning from each other. So you want to start it so that it would encourage other people who are also willing to share their thoughts on certain things. Because at the end of the day, every boss, no matter who the person is, might want the development of his or her department. So if the person is not even too open, but it's nice, you can share this and say that you want to share some thoughts on customer experience. You are not indirectly telling her that we are not doing it. Do you get it? This is something that you have learned and you want to share. And I think that person should be welcoming, unless, of course, the person is a very close person who thinks it should be me and not you. And even in that sense, you can give it to her to present it. You can put it together and still give it to the person to present it. And I think if there is an environment where we encourage learning, today it can be me as a team member. Tomorrow it can be somebody else going to learn something and come and share with us. And I think that is something that you can approach it from that angle if it works out well. I don't know if I've answered you.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So which one will we adopt?
I would get in touch with you so that
All right.
you.
I will share my number once I'm done with this. We'll share. Yeah. I'll share my contact. I will even type it in the chat box now. So please, the floor is open. Please feel free to ask questions or anything you want to add. Elias, I think I've seen a name, Elias. Elias, can I please worry you a bit?
Yes, so.
Yes, please share your thoughts with us.
Forgive me, Genevieve. I have been on another Bible study call.
Okay.
And I just finished.
That's okay, Elias. We have just been talking about customer experience, customer service. So I don't know if you heard anything, but I'm sure before we end, you might have heard one or two. So I'll come back to you. Thank you.
Yes, no worries.
Thank you, Elias. Mariama, Honorable Mariama, please, can you share a thought on what we've discussed so far with us?
Auntie Genevieve, thank you so much. I've really learned a lot. Yeah, I was, today I've learned another side of service where you started from coming from the car park and, where you meet so it starts from there. And yeah, so I wanted to ask a question, but I think you just answered that question where, it's a chain. A customer will come in, maybe I'm at the front desk, I will deal the customer well, and then the customer will go to a teller and have a bad experience at the teller. So the customer will end up leaving. I'm using a bank as an example because I work in the bank and, work as a team. And maybe I'm at the front desk, the customer will come, I'll treat him very well, he's very happy. Maybe after dealing with, he has to go to the teller. But here's the case, the teller doesn't treat him well. So he leaves the bank. Some of them, well, they will appreciate you. Like you had an experience where you appreciate the first two that you made, but some, there is a whole bank, they see that I went to this bank and like, they will just, So I'm just asking, here's the case, I'm in a team that I want to, I want to really serve customers well, but because somebody in my chain or in my team is not really putting up a good behavior, it affects all of us. But when they call, they will just call, oh, I went to this branch, they didn't treat me well. They won't maybe even mention names. So it ended up affecting all of you. And I'm in that situation. So I was going to ask you, when it happens, how do you do? Because you are not part of it, but somebody always, spoils your records. And I think you answered that sometimes you can, because I've never thought of that, but I've been thinking, how can I get my team members to move along with me so that we all give good, service? So one of the ways is to, I can organize maybe a training, like you just said, sometimes they are your bosses, so you don't know how to even go about it. But like you said, you organize, I'm sure with those, it will work. So thank you so much for this knowledge. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Mariama. And just to add a bit, like they say, one bad nut spoils the whole soup, right? So as much as you might be doing yours right, once the person is giving a report, it's about the branch. It's not about you. And even though you have given that person a good experience, that person might not even talk about that one, but we'll talk about the general thing, and it's messed up the whole good that you have done. But like I said, it's a continuous process. So once we find the problem, we'll find a solution to it. So I'm happy you've seen one solution, and let's practice it and see how it goes. And let's speak up. When we see that our team members are not doing the right thing, let's prompt them and let them understand that, look, we are all here to serve. So I know sometimes it will make it look like, hey, with your ABBO, you are too know. You think you know. That's the word. You think you know. Most times that is the expression that people would give us instead of accepting to go by best practice. So it is a hard work, but once we are committed to do it, we'll get the best results at the end of the day. Thank you, Mariama. Anyone else to share? How many more minutes do we have, Sharon?
We have
Cecilia.
about 12 minutes to go.
I want to share. This is Benedicta.
Yes, Bibi.
Hi, Genevieve. Thank you so much.
You're
It's
welcome.
always a privilege to learn from you. And I would say that we won't relent. We will keep on pushing to give the best experience to our clients and our customers. Thank you for the refresher, and then thank you for always believing and trusting in me. Thank you.
And thank you, Bibi, for always being an example. Well done, and keep it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Comfort. Did I see comfort or no? Cecilia. Cecilia, will you share any thoughts with us?
Hello, Genevieve.
Hello, Cecilia.
Okay, so I joined in late, so I just got the ending part. Well,
Okay.
I got something from when Sharon was doing the overview on the smile. So I
Okay.
picked something on smiling, listening, and then being ready to help. In my industry, we do a lot of customer facing roles. So it's something that I'll take to my team to help, because I wanted to have a meeting with them tomorrow. On Monday, to do a refresher course on that. So I'll take the notes that you share and then I'll go over with them on Monday. So thank you very much. And then God bless you.
Bless you too, my dear. So is there anyone to give us probably one more, and then I'll give you my quotes for the week, and then we can call it a day?
Auntie Genevieve.
Yes, dear.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Okay. Auntie Genevieve, like you said, sometimes you are not somebody who really faces, you want to face customers, but you find yourself in a job where you've been placed to face customers. You've got no choice. So when it happens like that, this one is not, some people naturally they flow with people, so it will come with you. But here's the case: I'm not really person. I don't really, don't want to really get with people. I'm a back office person, but I've been placed in such a position. So it means every day I have to put in some extra effort. In fact, extra effort to come and to smile, but sometimes you wake up at one day and you're just not in the mood. You are just not in the mood, and you come to work, and so things like this. What happens? You are just not in the mood. You are even tired of faking.
Okay. So I'll share a quick story with you, okay? I have the story I always share, and I say that when we leave our homes to work, we might be in different moods. When you get to the door of your office, it's two things. You can choose to put the problems that you have or your mood in front of the door, because once you enter the door, no matter your mood, it has to be right. For service, at the back of your mind, you have to get it right. We say you get it right the first time, but most times you might not get it right the first time. So make sure that at the third count, it is right. No excuses. That is one thing I want you to remember today. The next point is that when you put your mood at the door, that is the story. When you close from work, it is really in your hands to take the mood back or to drop it where you left it. All I'm trying to say is that we may not always be in the best of moods from home to the office. However, once we get to the office, we wear a different mood. We wear a different coat. We wear the coat of service, whether we are back or front. Because you see, the customer is not just the one coming from outside to patronize you. It can even be your colleague. That's the internal customer. So when you are even at the back and your mood is not right, it would affect your other customers. But also emotional intelligence will teach us that, okay, when I see that Mariama is not in her good way today, I can go the extra mile and find out what is wrong with Mariama. So as a leader or as a colleague, I would use emotional intelligence to get Mariama to get back to normal before she even starts encountering customers. But in your case now, you are the front. Naturally, I'm sure you are not really a bubbly interpersonal person. However, once you've been placed in front, see it as another strength that you need to acquire, and see it as an opportunity to become a better person. Because once you know that service is not really just for the office, and it's for everything we do, every experience, I want you to look at the brighter side of it. So I might not be a person when it comes to facing people, but once I've been put there, I would apply all the skill. The word is I will be intentional. So I will learn all it takes. I'll learn from my colleagues. I'll learn from books. I'll learn from people like myself, so that I become a better person, so that I would even get more skill and experiences in a role that is not normally my role. Are we good? Mariam, are we good?
Yeah, well answered. Well answered.
I like
Thank
what you
so
just
much.
written, quote of service. Good. I like that.
Thank you so much.
So any more questions or the last contribution, then we'll call it a day.
Hello, Genevieve.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have a question.
Please go on.
How do we apply customer service in church life? Because,
okay, thank you very much.
Yes,
I'm listening.
Just to give you context, in church, in many ways, we have customers. I suppose the souls are customers.
Yes.
And what we find is that in some churches, people get used to the people they know. And then sometimes new people find it difficult to integrate because they don't have a certain kind of connection with the old people. And in many ways, sometimes it's the old people's failure to have the right customer service skills to connect with the new people so that they can become part of the family. It happens from that end. And then also, in some sense, when we go out for soul winning, in street evangelism and etc., are there customer service skills that we can use, in that experience?
Thank you so much, Pastor Elias. Thank you for the question. It's a very practical question, and I'm happy about it. So, like you rightly said, right in the church, and that's why I started by saying I want us to look at service not only at the office, but right from home, our communities, our societies. So when it happens like that in church, like I'm a newcomer, like that's my first time. In my church, for instance, we'll say, if today is the first day of worshiping with us, and then people raise up their hand, go and stand, we pray for them, and then they come and sit down. I have a practice. Whenever somebody comes to sit, if especially you were sitting by me or behind me, when you come, akwaba, or like welcome, just a way for the person to feel warm. That's the first thing. Right. Another thing is that once we are done with the church service, I know normally we put them together and we engage them. Once we are done, the encouragement should be, I think your church should have class, you have class leaders, right? If you have classes, and you share Bible stories. Okay. So one of the things that we can do is, apart from the Bible stories that we do, things like this that we are discussing today, we should be able to actually have these discussions at church. That, when newcomers come to church, for them to feel warm, for them to feel welcome, let's try and engage them. When they close from church, let's maybe just a word, welcome, sister, hope to see you again. Just that statement will go a long way to make the person feel that I am welcome. Another thing we can also do, especially when we go out there to do evangelism. BB is here, you know how we say it. Normally, when we are going on the field to engage customers, I can't wear my suit and wear my brooch and dress kuntain. When I dress kuntain, the customer I'm even going to talk to will be shy to even approach, to even come close to me. The same way in the church. The same way in the church, when we go outside to evangelize, we should remember that the mindset we are going is to bring people to Christ. So we are not judgmental. We don't look at people with some eyes. We don't make certain utterances. We make them feel welcome. So I meet somebody who is maybe smelling of alcohol. How do I approach the person? I meet somebody who actually, as I'm talking to the person is on the cigarette, on the stick. How do I approach that person? Probably the person, I see somebody beating the wife or beating the child, right there, or insulting or fighting. How do I approach a conversation with this person so that I don't sound judgmental? I don't sound like I am the righteous ever. Make it look natural, practical, warm, and with service. If Pastor Elias, this is your way of life, usually it would extend when you are even outside. So I will look at it from this angle that we as Christians, we as church community, we should learn these little things so that when we go out there, it becomes easier because it's part of us already. So extending it to the outsider, it's very easy. I don't know if I have answered you, Pastor.
I get you. I think it's becoming more conscious of the idea of customer service so that we can gain the advantage from it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we don't see it as just like an office thing, a corporate thing.
Right.
But we should see it as whatever we do, everywhere we have to render service. And that is the experience that we should start having. And if we start having it, a conversation in church, in our little groups, small, like we're doing here, I think it will go a long way and have a greater impact in society. And we would even draw more people to Christ because we will not judge them. I just watched a short video this afternoon. It was about somebody who went to church and the phone rang continuously. And the pastor, in a way, I'll say, disgraced the person. And the wife was, look at you. You couldn't even put your phone up, but this was a genuine mistake. The person forgot, and it all happens to us, right? So right from church, the way the person felt, it was so bad that right from church straight to the beer bar. And then in the States, he found himself when he was drinking, he spilled the bottle actually fell, and then it poured on someone, and then the whole place was messy. So in his mind, this experience had happened in a different way at church. So I'm going to be bashed again, but rather see what happened. Everybody around him was like, oh, so sorry. Oh, then they gave him another bottle of beer to replace what has spilled. And then the person that's the thing poured on was like, oh, no, that's fine. That's okay. So the whole impact of this is that the church that is supposed to embrace us rather pushes us away. Do you get my message?
I think the beer examples, Satan used it as an opportunity to win the person.
Yes, I know. No, I'm using that because that was typically of the movie that it was just a short film or a short movie. So the message, I like the way you have turned it, but don't let us look at it from that angle. Let's say it wasn't beer. Let's say it was Coke. Do you get my point? Let's look at it from the scenario that, as I'm looking at it from the customer angle that we are talking. So wherever we find ourselves, let's bring people closer. Let's use our experiences. Let's use our encounter to make people draw closer to us and also to Christ in the church, rather than making it look too judgmental, too much of we knowing too much and pushing them away. Because I think the whole import of Christianity is to draw people closer to Jesus Christ. So that is what I was trying to pick out of the film or the movie.
It's powerful. So, point well noted. God bless you,
Mommy. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you so much. Please, do we have any other? Okay, if we don't, I just want to share this last quote with us before we go. It's by Ralph Marston. He says, excellence is not a skill, it is an attitude. Excellence is not a skill, it's an attitude. And what is an attitude? Attitude is something that applies consistency. So we've done it over time and it has become part of us. So it is now embedded in us. We do it because it is a norm. It is a normal thing. A skill is something that we learn. A skill is something that is like, I've gone to school to learn how to sew. I've gone to school to learn how to write. Or I've gone on the internet online course to learn how to do something. So I have certification for it, but it might not necessarily be an attitude. But an attitude, it can be an additional thing that I have added to my skill. So I have the skill, but I've also practiced it consistently, and now it has become part of me. Let the art of service excellence be a part of you. Let it be an attitude so that you live it, you apply it wherever you find yourself, at work, at church, in your network, in your communities, and above all, in your home, so that we affect lives and we impact lives greatly, and collaboratively, we make it work to the glory of God. Because it's a church group, I have to end with God. So thank you so much, and I'm happy you had me this afternoon. I've also learned one or two from you, and I know we'll all go and continue to do what we are expected to do so that the world becomes a better place for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Auntie Genevieve. God bless you. God bless you for your time, for sharing these powerful truths with us. I think we'll have to use it in our daily lives, in our online school. We have to practice all that you shared with us, and everywhere we find ourselves. Just as you said, we are so grateful. We are so grateful for your time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So let's share a closing prayer then. Father, we are grateful for such an opportunity to learn. We thank you for bringing us Auntie Genevieve. We pray that you help us to be intentional about whatever we've heard today. Help us in our work, in our dealing with each and every person we meet. Help us in our ministry, in everything that we do. Bless the works of our hands and bless us leave people with wow factors wherever we find ourselves. This and many others we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you so much.
Thank you, Auntie Genevieve. I think we all have to be intentional with our customer service.
That's
giving
not
our
just
people excellence. Intentional. That is the word. We should be intentional.
Right. And also our personal development. Maybe another time I'll get the opportunity to share another thing for you yourself as a person. You need to also be intentional about your own development. It's very important.
Okay, then. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you.
Bibi, I am a mentor. Kawaii.
Yes, I'll call you after here so that we talk about personal development.
All right, dear. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.